Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and whenever you may watch this replay. My name is Sherry with Ratchet Up Your Art, and today we're going to try out some unicorn spit. I love the name of that. Is it really magical on your gel plate, or is it going to be a complete disaster and just ruin my gel plate? We're going to find out today. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to jump right on into it. All right. I have three colors here of unicorn spit. Now they're a gel stain and it's concentrated. It's supposed to be working on wood, glass, fabric, stone, and ceramic. Yeah, key word here is fabric for me, but I'm not going to try it on fabric just yet. I'm going to try it on paper first and just see how it reacts with my gel plate. Now, considering it's in a bottle like this with a thin tip, this tells me automatically it's probably going to be a very fluid gel stain paint. I don't know. Whatever this is. And it's going to be very fluid. And so definitely could be, it could really bubble up and create those snowflakes. So we're going to try a couple experiments today. I also um, have two other jelly printing tools that I want to try out. So we're just going to try all new things today. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to pick this little, I already went off and pulled off the white tops and I don't know if you can see that. It kind of went chalky on me. Um, on the gel stain. So as I was pulling the little white sealers off. So I'll be interested to see how this works. All right, let's see. Okay, maybe not. Oh, it's coming out. Okay. Oh, it's not as fluid as I thought it was. Well, that's interesting. Let's see how this rolls. Okay. I like the way it rolls. It's gonna, yeah, it is definitely gonna give me those snowflake effects. Oh, the smell. Okay. It is smelly, not in a bad way, but it's really strong. It does say on here the fragment, there's a fragrance with it and it's jasmine scented and it is ooh, if you are sensitive to smells, and I'm not that sensitive, but that, my friends, that's a smell. You might like it. Um, I just not sure if I will. Okay, I just turned down the light just a little bit so you can see that. So let's just take a first print and see. This is still wet, but let's just see what happens here. Okay, I like the snowflake effect that it created. But yeah, it seems to be working just fine on here. And when I say snowflake effect, I mean this because there's not a lot of viscosity in that gel stain paint, whatever. Um, so that there is pretty cool. Let's see what happens um if we try to maybe mix two colors together. Curious if that will work. Haven't figured out how much paint to put on here. Or gel stain, sorry. Um, let's see if we can. Okay, there's nothing left on my brayer, so let's just roll this out first. It does mix with because there's some of that pink on the bottom. So it does mix for sure because it made like a bluish tint to it. And then let's see how this goes. Making a little bit of an ombre effect here. All right. And of course, I didn't get a stencil out. I'm going to put this down. Come on. Put this down, and I'm going to take this pink and see if we can't pick up any paper, any ink from that. And see how, if it's transparent or how that, or if it's more opaque. I bet it's probably semi-transparent, if anything. Okay. Well, that worked really well. Check that out. It's probably, it seems to be more semi-transparent depending on the paint or gel stain. And of course it doesn't tell you. Um, I'll have to like do some research on that. So far it seems to be working like a regular paint. So let's let that dry for just a second. And do I have some fabric here? Oh, I do. I do have a fabric. Not really. Hold on, let me get some fabric. Before I put my marker here, I want to put on here unicorn spit, because when I go to wash things today, I want to know how it washes. Okay. All right, so good enough for me. Let's go back with this blue and see what happens. It's probably way too much. We'll find out. So far, this seems to be working like a paint. And now let's take this piece of fabric and see what happens here. Now I'm wondering if it's going to pick up this grungy goodness that's on the corner here, but I don't think it will. I don't think it's going to pick up that grunge. It doesn't feel like it. Doesn't seem like it's adhering to it. So let's see. All right. Well, didn't pick up the colors very well. It picked, don't get me wrong, it picked up the paint, but remember we had like a green underneath and a light blue, but it seems like things just kind of changed a little bit. So, but that's fine. I'm going to throw it in the wash today, or gotta let it dry first. I don't know. All right. So we still have some residue here, which I call a ghost print. So let's go ahead, and to be quite honest, it looks kind of chalky on here. So let's see if we can pull a print. Curious of what this will look like. Must not have enough paint on my plate. It's a little hard to pull off, just a little bit, but hmm, well, that didn't turn out too well, did it? Let's just go with the lighter color and see what happens. I'm gonna add a little bit more paint because I guess I didn't add enough of the pink. But the pink definitely blends in with the blue for sure. It really makes this purple color, which I like, but and while we're at it, we're just gonna see, well, we'll do it in just a minute. I'm gonna let this. Now, if this does not pull up, we're gonna go in with our white acrylic paint and see what happens. Yeah, so it keeps leaving a residue on the plate. So it's like you can't really fully pick it up. So for ghost imaging, it doesn't seem like it's working that well. Um, so let's try the white paint. I'm now getting a little worried if my gel plate is being affected. So I'm getting a little worried. Am I going to have to recondition my plate? We'll find out. All right, let's see how this turned out. Okay, the white paint is definitely pulling it up. So that was good news. So this is a this really turned out an interesting print, but it was able to pull up some of that gel stain. So still got a little bit more right here to pull up, but I think we're good. Let's see how this one turned out. This had many layers of gel stain. You know, this is going to need some more pulling. Okay. So that turned out really nice as well. I like how that looks. But definitely need more white paint here. So layers build up. Maybe not so much. It's not going to pull up just the way you're hoping. All right. Now, let's go ahead and see how it transfers. I'm going to mess with the green for a minute. Let's see how it transfers. So I went to uh every Friday we and we either eat out or have pizza. Some members of my family have to have pizza every Friday. Well, after a while you get kind of bored with pizza. So, um so we tried, except for that one member who has to have pizza. we tried this new place. Well, it's not a new place to everybody else, it's just new to us. Tried this place called Velvet Taco. Now, I don't know if you have a Velvet Taco restaurant in your area, but we do. We just got one in our area, and I tried it for the first time. And Velvet Taco is kind of like posh tacos or tricked up tacos, but this is not your Taco Bell. This is gourmet tacos. Loved this restaurant. Like, I have to go back for seconds and thirds. I mean, I will be going back. Love Velvet Taco. Um, so anyway, they have on their part of their takeout, they have this little tray, and they had this embossed thing called Velvet Taco. Of course, when I saw this embossed, what did I think? Right? Oh, jelly printing. So I cut out this part of the top, and I wanted to see how it would transfer, like embossed. So we'll see. Hmm. Now, the more paint I put on this, the less probably it's going to transfer or make an impression. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, um, we would probably just have to wash this off or wipe it off to get you got a good impression here, you got a semi good impression here. You probably won't have the best impression here, but we'll see. Eh, it's all right. Yeah. So anytime you use something like this, you're gonna have to wipe it off. It's probably like the embossing folders. Like every time you use it, you probably just have to wipe it because you're gonna get more paint within those grooves. That's gonna have less of an impression. Yep. So, um, but being that this is unicorn spit, let's just wipe it off just so that we can not have this on my permanently on here, because what if I want to use it again? So just 1 second. What? And that this gives it time to dry. So, and I'm going to pull this up with white paint. So we're just gonna take a moment here and just take a paper towel and wipe this off. You can't see it on camera, but that's what I'm doing right now. Now, I should look up the manufacturer of unicorn spit and see what this exactly is, but I haven't done that. So let's see what is going on here. Plus, I need to look them up anyway for the fabric and see how that works on fabric. Okay, so we kind of got this cleaned off. Now, we're going to leave that there. This is kind of dry, so I'm going to go in one more time. I want to see what this does when it is a little drier. And I know I just cleaned it off, but that's a better impression. So maybe that's also another trick to do. Is let it get a little tacky. But again, we've talked about that before with embossing folders. So, kind of let it sit a little bit. I am curious if this will wash off with water, but I just wiped it off. So for now. They also had this was a utensil that they had, and this is not very sharp. So we'll try this in just a minute. All right, let's take our white paint to both of these and see what we get. Wow, I have a family that's already up. It's only 4:50. Don't know what's going on there, but they're a little up early. Maybe they're just going to bed. I do have some people who stay up really late. Okay, this is interesting. So you remember how bright this was, this is turning into more of a chalky kind of on the paper. So we're just going to print over this. And while that one's going, let's go ahead and try to pull the, oh, let's see what this does. Yep. See how bright this was? And now it's kind of chalky. So it's going to be interesting to see how things dry and what their effects are. Okay, that one maybe had too much paint on it. So we're just going to let that one sit for a moment. Oh, that's interesting. So, yeah, didn't work too well. Like, you can see the hints of it, but it didn't work too well. Of course, we have the residue. Is there anything left? Oh, wow. There's still stuff on my brayer. All right, pick this one up. Well, that was interesting. A slightly better print. You can at least see the word Velvet Taco. Is there anything left on this brayer? No. Okay. No, that was a nice pull. So it's making some pretty papers, background papers, but I just don't think I'll be jelly printing with this. We'll see how it turns on fabric, but I'm not impressed with this at all. I want to try one more thing, and then, I mean, it wasn't meant to, it didn't say for jelly printing, so it's okay if it doesn't work, right? I want to try this one fork spoon thing, whatever it's at, as maybe as a tool to make marks in. And we did run out of paper here. Well, we'll just do this side. All right. So this little fork thing is kind of cool to make marks in. What does this look like over here? You could scrape like big marks. What about, does it make, I don't know about that part, but yeah, you could definitely use it for scraping. And the fork part works. So that's an okay tool as well. So we'll let that sit for a minute. Yeah, a little tiny, you can't really see it, but a little tiny ghost image right there. So that's interesting. We'll let that dry for just a little bit more and just focus on this. But I'll give you my thoughts here in a minute. I mean, you kind of know what they are, but we'll talk about it in just a minute. I'm just kind of letting this dry. And I don't know if you're starting to see this. You see this right here? Starting to oxide, right? So it has definitely some oxidation, deoxidation. Can't say the word. Ox- you get my point. It's got some. It looks like it's turning chalky, for the lack of a better word. So it's definitely you could tell it's starting to dry just a little bit. So some of the recent the pools that I did were wet pools, right? This has been the longer we're sitting here waiting, I'm seeing it starting to turn in the lighter areas right there. It's turning chalky on the plate. So see how that turns out. That could be a good indication of when your paint's dry and to pull a print. We've just been pulling what I call wet prints, right? Because they're not totally dry, and that's why things were mixing so easily. Okay. That turned out to be a cool print. Well, get off my plate. We definitely pulled up some grunge here because we had the white acrylic paint, so that turned out kind of cool. Yeah, it's really starting to turn. That's definitely interesting. Hmm. Well, I'm not gonna wait. We're gonna go. So I'm curious with this being dry and we're taking in this blue, if that will keep the paint separated and not blend so much. Because when I get down here into this heavier area, there's going to be some mixing of paint. So it'll probably take what I've noticed is it's blending the paint's blending so much it's taking away the design. I didn't think I was gonna pull this many prints, but I guess we are. Okay. No, it didn't really matter. Oh, still a little wet. I'm pulling it a little early. Yeah. Okay, so it's still wet, and that's why this tore, but it didn't hurt anything. Yep. So with this, you definitely have to let it dry. Wet prints aren't going to um, work too well with the maybe using the emboss, like a little embossing folder or uh, designs and stuff. You have to let this dry before you pull it. So before you put on the layer to pull it. There's a lot of paint on here. All right. So these are the two prints, the two last prints I just pulled. All right. So let's look at these prints. Now, most these are all wet prints. Um, so if I had a little bit more time for the live, I would try maybe totally drying this on the print on the gel plate. Some of these prints are kind of cool, but as they dry, they oxide. Can't say the word. They become chalky, more chalky and dull in color. So this one, you can definitely see the velvet taco here. It was a little drier of a print, whereas this one here, not so much. So these were our prints here, but you can see how these are more dry. This one here is drier print than the rest of them, and it's oxidation. I can't say the word, but you get my point. This one here is on fabric, and we're starting to see some of the circles come through as it dries. So I definitely marked this one to see how it would wash. Is this would this be good for fabric prints? Right? So curious of how this is going to wash. But um these are the three colors I used. Definitely have mixed feelings about this one. So I'm not sure yet on this. I don't have to do it, so um on the so let's review this for just a minute here. I'm just messing with the light. Okay. So let's review a couple things about unicorn spit. Would I use unicorn spit on the gel plate? Probably not. I probably wouldn't. Could you? Sure. Try it. See what works for you. I pulled mostly wet prints. So, like, it didn't let the first layer totally dry before I went in to try to pull the print. And I think that's going to have a different effect because what I was noticing on the gel plate was some deoxidation. I can't say the word, but you get my point. It's a change in color and it dulls. And so it acts more like a oxide, if you will. So, um, any case, I think I would try putting a putting a print on the plate and let it dry, totally dry, and then pull before and see how that works on the plate. We know it comes off the plate, so it doesn't ruin our gel plate. This does not ruin our gel plate at all. I'm good with it. But does it make the best prints? I don't think so. But again, I just did wet on wet prints. Um, so totally let it dry. Then take your next layer where it's gel matte medium, or if it's another paint like acrylic, or even another gel stain, and see what it does. Or gel stain meaning unicorn spit, and see what it does, and try that test. I just didn't have time to try that test today as you're watching this live. So might be something I try, but I don't know. Not sure if I will use unicorn spit, but maybe. I know it mixes really well with the acrylic. It wasn't too bad. The colors mix, they blend nicely together. Um, so there are some cases where I think that you could try. I mean, you could use it. Maybe it just won't be my go-to. So with that, thank you for watching Ratchet Up Your Art, and I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. And if you like this content, please make sure you comment below and give it a like. It really helps with the algorithm, and I say that for any YouTube videos that you watch. Commenting on their YouTube videos, liking them, really helps the algorithm pick up that video and pushes out to many people. So for us small YouTube creators, please feel free to like and make a comment below. We really appreciate that. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.